Hello, hello.
Hi.
Welcome to our live. Hi, Megan. Hi, Alicia. We've been already chatting offline, but yeah, I don't think I've had the opportunity to kind of like share who I am to this community. My name is Angel. I work as the marketing manager here at the APA, and we're trying something a little different this time around to um, help gain awareness, share what the exciting things that are happening for our annual event. Many of you might already know about it, the APA International Personalization Expo. That's going to be our big topic for today. But before we get into all that kind of nitty gritty stuff, I would like to give some people a few minutes to kind of hop on. I know when we go live, it takes a few minutes for people to join it, get the notification. So as people are hopping on, one thing that we were chatting about, Megan, Alicia, and I, was our favorite morning beverage. Kind of tea and coffee are the usual things that are out there that people are drinking. I myself am a big coffee drinker. I don't know how many cups I have a day, but yeah, Megan, Alicia, what's kind of like your morning beverage? And as you're joining, let us know what's your morning beverage, where you're calling in from, and yeah, really excited for this conversation. But I'll just start with, what's our morning beverage this today?
I'm more of a tea drinker in the morning. To me, coffee is a leisurely weekend thing, and tea is a quick hurry up and go in the morning on a workday thing.
I'm on my second cup, so I'm definitely a coffee drinker, and I'm the only one in the family that's a coffee drinker. Nobody at our house drinks it but me. Well, most of the time. So, yeah, it's every morning it's the first thing I do.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Megan, do you grind the beans, or is it already ground before you?
No, I'm super lazy because I make a horrible cup of coffee. So I'm a Keurig girl. Although we have a what is that called? A Nest. I don't know the Nestle, or I don't know what it is. The Nespresso at work. So we do have a few coffee drinkers at work as well. And so, yeah, I'm super lazy about it. My mom can make a great cup of coffee, but I do not.
Got it.
What kind of tea are you drinking, Alicia?
Well, it's getting on towards midday, so I'm actually just drinking water currently.
Oh,
But my favorite cup of tea is probably just a basic Lipton with honey and lemon. But I also really like the absolute best tea I've ever drank in my life is from this tiny little organic tea farm in northern Michigan. And they have this really amazing, um, it's a creamy Earl Grey, and it's just divine.
Divine.
It's divine. It really is. It's
that's a big expression. That says a
That is-
lot.
yeah, very cool, very cool.
good
Thank you.
morning to Artistic Gifts. We see you dialed in. Thanks for
Yeah,
joining.
Good morning.
morning, morning, afternoon, wherever you are in the
Oh,
world.
yeah.
Oh yeah, Megan, Alicia, where are you both calling in from? I completely skipped that part.
I am in California, so it's 9 o'clock, so it's not bad. It's work time. So, West Coast.
I am just on the northwest corner of Indiana, close to Chicago. So APA, our offices are housed out of Chicago, and I live right around the corner, just over the border in Indiana.
Very cool. So is that Eastern time technically,
No,
or
we are on Central Time.
oh, okay, cool, cool, cool.
This little corner of Indiana is just considered a Chicago suburb. So our
Mhm.
time zone is Chicago.
Got it, got it, got it. Very cool, very cool. Well, thank you both for being on here today. Thank you to everyone who's going to be joining Artistic Gifts and whoever else is able to join this call. But it'll be recorded and we'll definitely be sharing this out. Because, like I mentioned today, our big topic is the APA International Personalization Expo. If you haven't heard of it before, it's a great opportunity for anyone that's in the personalization industry who is works with laser engraving, sublimation, UV printing, sand carving technologies, all the things, and also has a really strong educational aspect to it as well, which is going to be our main topic for today. This year, it is taking place February 4th to 7th next year at the Horseshoe Las Vegas. Registration is open already. If you haven't had a chance already to register yet, please, I encourage you to do so. Just to put it on the calendar, reserve the hotel, do all the things. As you'll see in our conversation today, you definitely won't want to miss it out because I'm happy to have been working with these two. To be putting together this program. I know these two have been hard at work on the education specifically, which we'll be talking about. So we'll kind of start at a high level. I have some questions about education, but as anyone has questions about the program, about the expo, really anything APA, we can definitely answer those along the way or have some time at the end to go over those as well. But here, like I mentioned, we have Alisha and Megan. Alisha and I are actually on the staff of APA, and Megan is one of the awesome volunteers that we get to work with, who actually is, works directly in the industry. And Megan, before I asked you about how you got involved in the committee work with the APA, would love to just get a little bit of background about your story, your business, how you got into personalization.
So I was an artist or a photographer and an artist by trade early on, loved it in high school and college. And my father-in-law was a sheriff. And when he retired, he and his neighbor decided, oh, well, my neighbor's retiring. I'm going to buy his trophy shop. And so my husband and I have been there since day one. They needed an engraver and a graphic designer. So that fit my narrative perfectly. My husband was doing some business stuff, so it fit his, and he was very hands-on, so he could easily become part of production. And we just celebrated our 30th anniversary. So I've been doing it for a long time, and I've seen the change over the years. And the only way we could learn to grow, because the store had been around for a really, really long time, and it had kind of become stagnant. But at the time, APA was ARA. And we were told, you need to go to this show. You've got to go to this show. It's where you meet all your vendors. It's where you get everything that you want to do. And then you can learn stuff. And so from that day forward, I was all in on learning. Every time I went, I filled my full schedule with taking as many classes as I could so that we could grow the business in a way that it had never seen before. So we started out with one small little machine, and now we're up to we sandblast, we rotary engrave, we laser engrave, we have a fiber laser, we sublimate, we do hand engraving. And every year I have gone to learn. I mean, that is my we want to meet the people there. We want to meet the vendors, and that's incredibly important. I think face-to-face contact is amazing, but learning is irreplaceable. You can always learn. I mean, even if I'm taking the same class, if I took the same class every year, exactly the same, there's always a nugget I can get out of it. And I truly believe that's the best way so I had to be a part of education. I wanted to join the board. I wanted to come on and say, put me on committees. I want to volunteer, and I want to share the knowledge to those coming into our industry. And it's changed a lot. It's changed an awful lot. And I love to see the growth. So that's how I got into this, and that's where I've been.
And Megan, we're so grateful that you did decide to volunteer your time with APA, because Megan is now the chair of the Education Committee. And the Education Committee is the group that develops the education program for Expo. So thanks to Megan for all of her guidance and leadership in putting together the education program.
It's been really fun. I've loved having a part in I'm working more as an advocate. I feel like I'm not just creating education. I'm looking at what's happening, and APA has guided us to see what's coming up and watching what all the new. I mean, with social media, you see all the amazing things that are happening out there, and so hopefully we were able to really guide this in that direction, so everybody has a little bit of something for their part of the industry.
Absolutely. Alisha, want to get your thoughts. How has it been? I know you work with Megan a lot, but like you mentioned, we also have the committee. What's it been like working with them? Because you've shared that that's kind of how the education comes to life for the expo. what's kind of that process been like?
Yeah. So, in my role as education manager for APA, I help the members oversee this process of putting together education programming, whether that's webinar programming or expo education program, and any kind of education that is needed from APA members. And the committee is a committee of 5, so it's Megan as chair and then 4 other members. Any APA member can volunteer their time to sit on a committee. We have lots of different committees. Education is just one. And the committee is primarily tasked with making sure that we are bringing to the expo education that is relevant to the industry, that is needed by our members, and making sure that our education programming is spot on. It's what everybody needs. So we spend a lot of time looking at survey results and industry research and digging into how various members are performing tasks in the industry, what equipment they're using, supplies and such, and then we develop the education programming around what is needed.
Yeah, it's been a fantastic group to work with, and we've got people from all types of industries. I mean, it's all APA, it's all personalization industry, but each one of them has had a different role in their business and what they do at their business. And so it was really nice because we could break apart into different groups and see what's happening internally that we're seeing and what's happening externally, and create some sort of I want to call it an algorithm of sorts that we could put together and really look forward at what's happening in our industry. And that's important because it's changing. And I've said that, but it really is changing a lot. And Alisha helped guide us, stay on track. And these are the things that we need to focus on. And we created a checklist. And we just, as things came in, we looked through all the proposals and does this meet this checklist? Does this meet this checklist? And if it met it, we put it in, and we felt like we put together a really, I'm proud of the sessions we've put together. I think it will hit all the different aspects of the things that we're looking for. So.
Awesome. Thank you both so much. With all that, I think we'd like to get into some of the specifics about the education program. So I think I have some nice visuals here. Expo, you haven't already, register. But I know this is a piece that we'll probably want to spend a little bit of time on just to make sure people have an understanding of how our education is laid out. So Alisha, can you kind of like walk me through how, not to be redundant, how education works at the APA Expo? What's kind of like the breakdown of sessions and categories and such?
Sure. So we have a certification program with APA. And so if you are involved in the certification program, you might already know that we have 3 categories of CEU that you can participate in. That is business, marketing, and technical. So generally, when we're building the education program, we're going to ensure that we are providing sessions to meet all of those categories. So generally, the program includes a lot of technical sessions. So these are going to be your sessions that involve specific styles and techniques that are looking at specific lasers or sand carving, UV printing, any kinds of specific techniques. Marketing sessions are obviously going to focus on marketing your business in various different ways, both online marketing and in-person marketing. And then business sessions can be anything related to running your business. These could be finance sessions. It could be lean processes sessions, efficiency sessions, lots of different potential business strategies that you can use for your business.
Awesome. Megan, can you tell me what's kind of like new this year? This is kind of like the layout that we've had overall, I think year over year. What are kind of some of like the new things that people should get excited about?
Well, we needed to focus on keeping up with the CEUs so that everybody had their credential program. We could do that. we wanted to look at some new programs that people are using. And a lot of these fiber lasers are using Lightburn. So we're bringing in Lightburn this year. We're doing a hands-on session and another session that offers Adobe, which is, I think most of our industry uses Corel as a main platform, but Adobe with all the UV printing, sublimation, gives you such a broad range of things that you can do. We're bringing in some jewelry engraving, which isn't something we've had for a while. And I really love the fact that we're touching on that aspect of things that we have always done and the new ways of doing it coming up with the fiber lasers. It's kind of amazing what some of the old things are still new, and there's just new ways of doing it. I'm excited to see when we created education, we had to kind of look at all the things that people are looking for, and everybody's looking at Lightburn. That's a big one. And I'm going to take the Lightburn class. And so I'm really excited to see, because we have a laser that runs that and we get lost on it. There isn't always technical support that we can look for. So not only will you have the session, but then you have that opportunity to talk to the speaker who can give you additional information either at the show or later on. They can email you. That's something that they can all do. I love that we're doing a state of the industry. We're doing a panel that's going to be about the state of the industry. And I think after COVID, things changed so much. People are really wondering where are we going? You know, we lost a lot of retail businesses after COVID. And so people are nervous about what is happening in the personalization industry and the change of it becoming more of an e-commerce and less of a brick and mortar type of store. So we've got some of those big names in the industry coming in to just talk about it with us. It's just a conversation. So they're not there to sell their product. They're not there to do anything but have a conversation with their members and the people who decide to join the expo. There's roundtables that are a little bit different this year. We're going to have a conversation about the successes and the challenges. So we're going to have 2 retailers and 2 suppliers that are going to come in and basically just say, hey, let's have a conversation about this and let's see what's really worked for you. What are you guys having challenges with? And let's see how we can help you with that. What am I missing, Alisha? There's so much stuff. There's lasering on leather, which can be really, really tricky.
We have some other things that are new this year include an education pass. So for the first time ever, you can purchase just an education pass only if you are wanting to attend education sessions. There's also a new tiered pricing structure. So we now have early bird pricing that you can take advantage of until December 1st. Our regular rates are going to be up until the day before the conference on February 3rd, and then on-site pricing as well. So that's kind of new. We've also we have had panels and roundtables in the past, but we definitely tried to structure our panels and roundtables a little bit differently this year and more intentionally to make sure, again, like Megan mentioned, that we're hitting those key points and those key ideas that people are excited to learn about. So we've taken your feedback, all of your feedback that you've given us as members, and we've really tried to implement that into our sessions. And so one of the panel sessions that is happening this year that I'm particularly excited about is the AI panel. And the AI panel, again, we've had panels in the past, but this year's AI panel is specifically put together in a way that the panelists all come from different perspectives. So we have Michael Mullins, who will be presenting based on his experience as an influencer and utilizing AI in his design. We've got Mike Westbrook, who will be talking about utilizing AI more from a marketing perspective because he has used that. We've got Michael Stewart, who is coming in to talk about AI from a legal perspective to make sure that you are covered legally and not doing anything with AI that could potentially be called copyright infringement or something like that. And then we've got Dan Benzik, who will be coming in to talk about utilizing AI in various aspects of business, including design as well. And Justin Varn, a longtime member of APA, will be the moderator for that conversation. And he's been using AI as well across all aspects of his business. So really excited about this panel. And it's something new that we're doing this year, where we're really making sure that our panel speakers have these various perspectives so that they can bring you a wider and more encompassing conversation and answer all of your questions. So one of the really fun things about these panel sessions is that the audience gets to interact a lot. There's a lot of engagement. You can ask questions, and the panelists can field your questions right there on the spot.
Awesome. Very cool. Very cool. Before we move on a little bit just to take a pause on all of this great stuff that we're sharing right now, some of the comments are not coming through on my end, but not to worry. I want to make sure that I'm acknowledging all the folks that are joining us live. So I have our live session here pulled up on my phone. Just want to call out a few people just because I'm not able to pull it up on my laptop machine here. But Sheila Klosky says, hi, Randy. Wilson Brim sharing, this is great information. Judy Brown says, hi, Wilson. Katie Devlin, who I know is one of our speakers, says, hello, all. So excited to be presenting this year. I know we're really excited to have you, Katie, for the first time at the Expo. Champagne Engraving says, yeah, jewelry engraving. Judy Brown also says, I think the AI session is one that she's looking forward to. Let's see. Dan Bensick.
And a couple of those commenters are people who are on the education committee as well. So yeah, thanks for being here.
Thank you, everyone. Let's see. And then Dan Bensick also shared strategic planning and ways to utilize your AI for communications. 2 of the ways he's been utilizing AI most recently. Yeah, so a lot of stuff, a lot of good stuff there. So please continue sharing your comments, questions. I'll definitely be keeping an eye out on that. But Alisha, Megan, I don't know if we had a chance to also talk about the state of the industry, or did we go over that already?
I just mentioned it, so that we've got 4. I don't know what we call it, but from PDU, JDS, Marco, the Finer Line, we've got people from all the larger companies coming in who have been around for a long time. I mean, these are kind of our staples in the industry, and they can come in and give us a pretty good rundown of what they've seen over the years and possibly what's going to be happening. I mean, we all know there's a lot of changes going on at JDS and Tropar, for example. And so we want to make sure that everybody understands what's happening in that aspect. Marco, always a great one to talk to. PDU, the Finer Line. I love that they're coming in and sharing their knowledge of longtime suppliers with maybe longtime retailers and brand new ones to the industry. Some people just aren't aware of what's out there. I know last year when I was at the show and I was talking with some newer members, they just didn't know what was available. And sometimes it's nice to come in and just talk to the people that you may not get a chance to talk to when you're on the show floor, because it is busy. This way they're up there and you can field those questions to them about what's going to happen. What is it going to look like in 10 years? We don't know, but we can kind of try to navigate through that. So
they'll be focusing a lot on industry trends, new technologies, and how to adapt to the challenges of the changing industry of personalization.
Very cool. Very cool. Let's see. What else do we have on here? Oh, this is one that I definitely don't want to miss out on, but we've already been shouting out some of the folks that are going to be joining us this year. And we mentioned definitely a few of these names, but I don't know if we want to specifically call out any of these folks. But I think there's a lot of, like you all mentioned at the beginning, fan favorites, I guess is the term, but also people that we're really happy and exciting to be bringing to the expo for the first time. I think last year was my first expo, so I can share some of the sessions that I really enjoyed. I know Sumida and Anuj from Homebound Custom Decor, their session received a lot of great feedback last year, so really excited to be bringing them back. Doug Green, one of those fan favorites. I know he's always, I guess you could call it the Coral Draw expert. as well as Crystal Evans. I'm kind of just bouncing around here, but really just a lot of folks that I've had the privilege opportunity to connect with for the first time last year, and they're have just so much knowledge to share. And also some of the new folks that we'll be bringing on that I'm really excited to, that we've met over the past year. And I'm also honored to be bringing like Mark Collier, Will Louie, I think Katie we mentioned before. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm just like listing out names, but any particular sessions that you all are looking forward to attending? I know, Megan, you mentioned the Lightburn ones, but any others that we feel that are really people won't want to miss?
I think the Lightburn one is really exciting for me. I'm curious about how that's going to work in my world. I'm also going to do the Adobe because I don't work with Adobe a lot. And again, having done this for 30 years, I've used CorelDRAW. I have other machines that have proprietary software. But I need to learn what's happening. That's the whole part of this, right? You need to come in and learn what's new. Even if you've taken Doug's class before, which is always a great Corel class, he always has a nugget. You always get something out of it. We have Steve Wiest, who's been around for he's been with PDS forever, but he's presenting this year, which isn't something he's usually doing. And I'm excited to see. He brings such charisma to his classes that it's a hands-on session, and I'm really excited for people to see how he teaches that. And you get that when you're at his booth, but now we're going to get to see it on a bigger level. I'm going to be taking pretty much, we have some influencers coming in this year, and I'm curious to see how they're doing their business. So the Patels are coming in, and I'd really like to see how they're managing what they do on an influencing level. Like, that's not something we do. And so again, I can learn from that. I've been sandblasting forever. I'm going to take Liz Haas's class just because I can always learn how to color fill a little bit better. She did a great webinar too. So we want to get into the UV printing industry. So that's Steve, but I also want to look at what Susan Cox is doing over at LogoJet. So I can't say that there's one that I wouldn't take. I wish I could take them all, to be honest. And I'm not saying that because I'm on the education chair. I love them all. Like I personally looked at them and thought, wow, these are great. And I wish I had more time. Mm-hmm. Alisha, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, one of the things that we really looked at this year when we put together the program was creating this balance, right? Megan has already mentioned a couple times, and Angel as well, that there are some presenters who are teaching courses that are longtime APA members who have been involved in the industry for decades. And so we've got a handful of industry experts who are just longtime folks that have been presenting at APA for years and years. And we're looking forward to having those folks back, people like Liz Haas and Susan Cox, Darren Jones, some longtime names, Dave Stevens. And then we've got this whole group of new influencers who are really doing something different with the personalization industry and marketing their business in whole new ways. And so we've got a whole group of new people who are coming in and presenting for the very first time. We've got influencers like Michael Mullins, Will Louie, Alisha Pate coming in, Katie Devlin, Jessica Perkins, coming in and teaching for the first time at APA and really going to share their perspective and a new angle on the industry. So we're excited about that. And we've also got a whole handful of experts who are coming from suppliers and teaching courses that are in the supplier industry. And then we also have folks who are retailers who are teaching. So I really feel like the program is very well balanced. It can offer lots of different choices for courses that you can take and really help you expand your business. And to what Megan said about she wishes she could take all the classes, this is one of the places, this is feedback that we get a lot, is that we do have 3 concurrent sessions happening at the same time. And so you do have to make a choice about what sessions you're going to choose. And some folks bring other staff members so that they can assign different staff members to different sessions and try to hit them all. And one of the other options is to purchase our session recordings. So we do record the first 2 days of sessions. We record all of the sessions on Tuesday, which is our heavy education day. And then we record all of the sessions on Wednesday as well. And so you can purchase the education recordings. You can pre-purchase them now when you go on and register. You can pre-purchase them for $35, or you can purchase them at the expo or post expo for $85. So I would highly encourage you, if you're feeling the same way that Megan is, like you really wish you could just attend every session, but you can't be in 3 places at once, please make sure that you purchase those session recordings so that you can listen to them later on, or you can share them with your team.
Absolutely. I have a couple seconds on that comment in the going on the chat. Judy Brown shared, you'll need the recordings this year for sure, and that there's so much energy at the expo, but in 2025, as we welcome so many from the maker and influencer communities, and energy is going to be unlike past expo events. I think we all agree with that. Champagne Engraving also said, love Liz's class, so much great information. For any members that are in a member of APA, I think Megan shared that she did a webinar recently, Liz did. That's on our website, so if you want to check that out, that is available there for you. Robert Kofed, another one of our new speakers this year. Hi, everyone. Really looking forward to presenting this year. And Sumita Patel, can't wait to speak again. Yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in again. Really, really enjoying this conversation.
We love having you here. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So I think we were kind of going over this already. I think the big takeaway from our schedule, like I mentioned, it's February 4th to 7th. That is that education does start on Tuesday, though the trade show floor does open the morning of Wednesday. So I think in the past we've had some folks not be aware that Tuesday there's just so much value there to showing up on that first day, because they think that the trade show and education opens up on the first day. But
yes,
sharing
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Angel. Don't forget that education runs for an entire day on Tuesday, and then the showroom floor opens on Wednesday. So Tuesday is your day to grab that good cup of coffee or tea and sit down in education sessions and really take in as much information as you can possibly get. So you can register either on Monday evening, that's February 3rd, or you can register first thing in the morning on Tuesday morning. But education sessions do start first thing Tuesday morning. They start at 7:30 a.m. on Tuesday morning and go all the way until 6 p.m. So there are quite a few sessions happening on that Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, there's education in the morning, and then the showroom floor opens in the afternoon. Or actually, that's not true. It opens at 10 a.m., but education sessions prior to that. And then on Thursday, there are education sessions early in the morning before the show floor opens again at 10 a.m.
Yes, yes. And there's all, like, we're just talking about the content that I don't even know if we've done justice to just the connections that you're going to be able to make at this conference. I think the education top tier, the trade show floor, really looking forward to that, how that's panning out. One of our newest team members who you might have seen, we posted on social an announcement that Dave Pomeroy, longtime industry veteran, joined the APA team. He's helping to put together a really strong, bigger than last year show floor. So really looking forward to that. But yeah, just like the connections you're going to make, I think the connections with suppliers, vendors, but also the friendships, the camaraderie, sharing of best practices, or just, having a good time. And, in Las Vegas, I think that always calls for, that just makes it all the better, in my opinion. Megan, Alisha, would you agree?
It's that is what we have done every time. We met a couple years and years ago that were just starting a trophy shop in Wasilla, Alaska, and they were having trouble setting it up. And so my husband and I flew out there to help them figure out what was the best plan of attack for their trophy shop. And now they have sold it to another person who found me at the show last year And now we've connected. So Bree and I are connected so that she can learn some of the new stuff that's going on. I met Mike Westbrook, who's out of Colorado, Mile High Laser Engraving, and he talked to us about getting a fiber engraver. And the fiber laser took us a little time to learn how to do, but now we've got a friendship. And then, oh my gosh, there's the Varns we've gotten to know over the years. Everybody on the board that I've gotten to know, we all have this camaraderie and this networking opportunity that we can do even outside of the show, which is what's really important because we always have questions. And so I can hit any of those people and say, hey, what do you think about this? And then they'll always give me true feedback and I'll do it back for them. So I always kind of say when you go to the show, you meet people and then you either become mentors to each other or just friends that kind of hang out and want to talk about the stuff that most of our friends don't understand because nobody else is in my industry. So my friends look at us like busy season. What's a busy season? Yeah, you've never lived till you've sat through a May in our industry. So that is the most important part of education is learning who you can rely on later on in your journey through this whole process because it's constantly a journey.
You know, one of the things that we haven't mentioned yet about the schedule is the Learning Lounge. So even on days when the show floor is open and education sessions are not happening, we do still have a Learning Lounge. It's out on the show floor. So as you're wandering around the show floor and you're talking to vendors and suppliers, you can also find a Learning Lounge schedule and see what's happening at the Learning Lounge. So Learning Lounge sessions are meant to be just quick little snippets of education. They're not full sessions the way you would experience with the regular education session. They're usually shorter, less formal topics, and you can pop into the Learning Lounge anytime that you're on the show floor. But there will be a schedule and it will be posted. And one of the exciting new things that's happening with the Learning Lounge this year is that we'll be hosting several influencers who will be doing live events at the Learning Lounge. And so you have the potential as well as an audience member to ask your questions to some of these industry influencers live while they're actually live streaming. So that's exciting.
Absolutely, absolutely. And just so people know, like how to get to that place or just where to find all the information, the full schedule of things. I know it's a little small, but you would just go to our website, personalizationpros.org/trade show. Just click over to schedule and you'll be able to, see all the information, all the general sessions, the hands-on sessions, the learning lounge, as Alisha mentioned, and the networking opportunities as well. So definitely check that out. Take a pause to also see some of the comments that we've gotten. Also, NetSoft Studio says, great job in putting together these great education sessions. Appreciate that. Sheila Klosky, I like the recordings so you can review them later. Take it all in. And then Harry Duff, looking forward to attending this year. Looking forward to having you there, Harry. And then Judy Brown says, we've met people at the show who ended up stopping at our shop in Washington while they were traveling. So I think that just speaks to the friendships, camaraderie, community that is within the APA and a result of the APA Expo. And also that learning lounges are great opportunities for those valuable nuggets of new information that can make a big impact on your business operations. And NetSoft Studio said, once again, as a supplier, we love doing the learning lounge. So yeah, there's just, I don't know, I feel like it's a little bit, there's just so much to do. Like, I don't know, I think, and just all the new things that we have coming this year, I think the simple message of you won't want to miss it probably doesn't do it justice, but yeah, you won't want to miss it for sure. Megan, Alisha, is there anything else that we'd like to chat about? Make sure the good folks out there joining us or watching this recording know about education specifically. Anything we might not have gone over.
In reviewing everything last year that we were listening to, people were wanting it to be more, there needed to be a spark coming back. And I feel like we've done a really we've done a good job of putting that spark back into it. And I don't know how else to say it, but I feel like everything is going to be exciting. We need to, that was one of the main things. People wanted to see it exciting, and I'm excited about it, but I feel like the speakers are excited. I feel like there's a buzz that's happening over the new things that we're offering, and that will just create a buzz throughout the whole expo. So I feel like that buzz is coming back. Like I love that it's here. So for me, that get out there, be a part of it, be a part of this exciting experience, and don't be afraid to come to the education full of questions. That's why we're there. We're there for you to listen, to learn, and then ask. We need that participation while we're in those sessions. Alisha?
Absolutely. All of our speakers really love audience engagement. There's nothing better to a speaker than to have people ask you questions, to know that people are engaged. The thing I'm looking forward to the most about the expo is just the energy. Megan, you call it spark. I call it energy. There's just such great energy at expo. People are excited to be there. They're excited to maybe see friends they haven't seen for a while, to shake the hands of vendors that they've been working with all year. There's just a lot of really great energy, and I would very much encourage you to introduce yourself to the person who's sitting next to you in an education session, exchange contact information, ask people questions. If you're struggling or having challenges with something, or there's some kind of obstacle in your way for your business, bring those questions with you, and don't just ask the education presenters, but definitely do that because they love that. But also ask other people in the audience, ask the vendors, ask your fellow colleagues, ask other personalization pros, get as many perspectives as you can on any particular topic. And speaking of industry challenges, we're actually hosting a roundtable event this year where we're going to have 2 suppliers and 2 retailers who will be moderating a roundtable discussion about the successes and challenges of the personalization industry. So this will be a great session for you to be able to sit down with both retailers and suppliers to get both perspectives, to share the successes that you've had in your business, to share the challenges that you're seeing, to get feedback and just exchange ideas. I think this session will be really just an exciting place to be.
And it's an easy conversation. And that's the nice thing about it. There's nothing structured except that we want to navigate your challenges and your successes. It's that simple. So it's a very simple and easy conversation that you can then have after the roundtable as well. You can continue that after networking and meeting people. You guys may want to hang out afterwards, which I have done with many people before. So,
Yeah, we have a comment right here from Champagne Engraving sharing, the best thing about the show is sitting down at education or lunch table and just talking. I get so many ideas and contacts that way. We are all experts on something. I think we would all agree with that.
Absolutely, Lori. Thank you.
Yeah. And a couple other comments here. Alisha Pate from Pate Ranch sharing, looking forward to speaking on leather and lasers. And Katie Devlin, I think this was response to that. Maybe I'll actually get to see it this time, assuming that they might know each other, that has been hosted before. But yeah, and I think the only thing I would add on to what you both have been sharing about this year's this coming expo is the questions that people are asking during the show. I might add on to that the questions that people ask before and after the show, questions about the show, if it's, how to best prepare for it, or any general feedback. I think the kind of notion I'm getting from our conversation and as we've been putting together the expo is we really have tried our best and are listening to your feedback, to your suggestions, to the things that you want us, our followers, our audience, our expo goers want to see at the expo. And I would share on this platform, and I think Alisha and Megan would agree with me, is just please continue sharing your feedback with us. I think if we can't improve, if we don't know what we can improve on. So the more that we hear your questions and what you want to see at the expo, I think you will only help this expo to continue to grow and grow. And I think you'll see some of that already in action in 2025.
Absolutely. And the APA member to member forum is a great place to engage with those kinds of conversations as well. And I know for me personally, I will be walking around at Expo. I'll be introducing myself to people, asking you, how are you enjoying education while you're here? Because I definitely want to get as much feedback as I possibly can. So I'm excited to meet you at Expo. I'll be there. If you see me, please come and introduce yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll be walking around as well. So make sure you come up to me and say hi and introduce yourself. Be sure to, as a person who's taken education, the only way we can learn is if you put that feedback after the session into our system. So we need to know what you're wanting. Otherwise, we can't address it. So please come up to me, give me your feedback. Even if you don't fill it out, give me your feedback and I'll make sure that it gets back into the system so that we can have it for next year.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, absolutely. I have nothing else on my end. I think this is where we would open it up for any remaining questions that folks have from our audience. I'm not seeing any comments, but I think I'll just share again. Megan, Alisha, thank you so much for joining me, joining all of us in this conversation. Any last departing words before we close out today's episode?
Thank you for having me. I think this is a wonderful way to market what we're doing that's new. This is a new way to do it. And so we're showing that we're thinking forward thinking is what my main goal is this year. And I think we're doing that through the marketing part of education. I'm excited to see everybody. I love going to the show. I love seeing everybody. And I'm super proud of what the committee, Alisha and I, have put together for education this year. And I look forward to seeing everybody who's taking it.
I so agree with everything that Megan said. Working with the education committee to develop this education program has just been so much fun and really great people to work with. If you haven't gotten involved with APA, if you've kind of been a member for a while and you're just sitting on the sidelines and enjoying the, education program or the expo or the webinars, and you haven't really gotten involved with volunteering, I would say consider that. There are lots of committees that you could join and get involved with. So if you're ready to take the next step with your APA membership and get more involved, please reach out to us. There's Angel posted there a link that you can click to see more information about volunteer opportunities. So I'm just really excited to see everyone at Expo. I'm really grateful for all of our speakers who have decided to share their knowledge and expertise with the APA world. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Megan, Alisha, and thanks again, everyone who joined us today. We'll definitely be sharing this recording here. Please continue to share comments on this, and we'll answer those. And if any questions arise between now and whenever, you can definitely reach out to any of us. You have contact information on the website, all the good things. But yeah, thank you so much to everyone, and we'll probably plan to do another one of these before the expo, so stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, thank you, everyone. All right.
Thank you.